Hi everyone, I'm making another video response to Michael on the channel Red Chair. He is doing a whole retrospective series this month, and he just got through reviewing two different Mickey Rourke films, both of which are set in Louisiana. Excuse me, I'm really dive bombing my subscribers with videos today. I'm doing like 5 videos at once today. So the two movies he talked about were Johnny Hanson and Angel Heart. Angel Heart was directed by Alan Parker. It came out in 1987. It co-stars Robert De Niro, Lisa Bonet. Johnny Hanson came out in 89. Co-stars Morgan Freeman, Forrest Whitaker, Lance Henriksen, Ellen Barkin. Yeah, both of these are movies that I like quite a lot. I was really enthusiastic about Johnny Hanson when it came out. It was a good down and dirty, dynamically directed heist movie, and I was really pleased when I watched it the last time I watched it, because I realized that there was a lot of very careful camera choreography going on there versus a lot of the handheld stuff that tends to happen now. Plus, when I saw it at first, I was really pleased by all the cast members that I recognized. Lance Henriksen, of course, I knew from Aliens, and Forrest Whitaker from Good Morning Vietnam, and Morgan Freeman, I knew of him, of course. Ellen Barkin was in The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. But, of course, the main character is Mickey Rourke. He plays a guy named John Sedley, who is a crook, basically, a career criminal who pulls heists. And other jobs like that. He's been disfigured from birth. And that's the one thing about the movie that was sort of disappointing to me when I saw it most recently, is that his mother apparently was a drug addict, and this contributed to the genetic abnormalities that disfigured him. But his messed upness is localized entirely to his face. He looks a little bit like the Beast from the Beauty and the Beast TV series. He's got that sort of like lion look to his face. He's got a bumpy forehead, and he's got, you know, his mouth is messed up a little bit. But for the most part, the rest of him is completely normal. So I thought, wouldn't that affect more of his body, you know? But you know, I ignored that. It didn't bother me back when I first saw it. And '89 was when I was like, I guess I was a junior in high school then. I saw this movie and I recommended it to everyone. I thought it was really, really exciting. What happens is John Sedley, the character, he gets involved with Lance Henriksen and Ellen Barkin, who are also crooks, to rob a jewelry store. But they set him up to take the fall. So once he goes to prison, he meets a doctor who offers rehabilitation and reconstruction on his face, and offers to set him up with a new identity, give him the opportunity to kind of start his life over again. So he agrees to the surgery, and he gets his face fixed up, and now he looks like Mickey Rourke normally looks. But what happens is, once he gets out of prison, he then sort of tries to track down the guys that double-crossed him on that job so he can get revenge. And he poses as a different person so that he can get them to agree to a job with him so he can set them up. That's the whole thing. In the meantime, he's dealing with Morgan Freeman, who is the cop, basically, who originally was keeping an eye on him, and he doesn't want him doing any bad stuff, of course, so he's got to deal with him as well. Really good characters, and just, you know, a really exciting movie, dynamically directed. Walter Hill, of course, is the director of a bunch of decent movies like Trespass, with Bill Paxton, Willem Sadler, and Ice Cube, Ice-T. You know, he's done a bunch of stuff. There was a whole series of movies that we looked at when I did film studies in high school, so I was pretty pleased that Johnny Hanson came out, because I'd seen a bunch of Walter Hill movies, and now I was getting the latest one. Kind of like doing a YouTube director's series. That was cool. I don't know if that gave me the idea, the whole film studies class back in the day, but it might have. I don't know. Now, the other movie, of course, Angel Heart, came out a couple of years earlier, and this is probably one of my most favorite horror movies of all. Right up there with Seven and The Exorcist and Jacob's Ladder. It's a horror movie that you can really take seriously despite the supernatural element to it. Mickey Rourke plays Harry Angel, who is a private investigator. He's a World War II vet and a private investigator in New Orleans. And he's hired by Robert De Niro, who's kind of a mysterious entrepreneur-type character, who claims that he gave a singer, a professional singer named John Liebling, some help early on in his career, but now wants to know whether or not he... it is sort of a complicated situation. Apparently, this guy, who's nicknamed Johnny Favorite, Johnny Handsome, Johnny Favorite, that's interesting, right? was catatonic. He was comatose, or he was a vegetable after being in the war, basically. He was wounded. But they have reason to believe that he isn't actually, that he's actually not a vegetable, and that because he never really sort of paid back his debt to Robert De Niro. He wants Harry Angel, the PI, to track him down. So this leads Angel, the detective, to investigate where he's from and what kind of people he's had in contact with, and this puts him in touch with a lot of really unsavory characters in New Orleans who are involved in hoodoo and black magic and all kinds of nasty business involving sacrificing chickens and other things. And then there's some murders that happen with people that he comes into contact with, and suspicion falls on him, and he gets really freaked out by this. Really, really, really intense movie. Beautifully shot movie. Just a very, very great looking film. Alan Parker's done a couple of movies that I really like, but this is definitely my favorite of his. It's a very, very unnerving movie and has some great twists in it and some really terrific actors. I can't remember most of what their names are right now. That most of them were unknown to me when I saw the film, which is actually not a bad thing. I think it's sometimes better if you don't know most of the actors in the movie, because then you're not distracted by recognizing them from other stuff that they've been in. You just sort of accept them as the characters. Of course, the key characters, you know who they are. Robert De Niro has a lot of fun. I remember reading Roger Ebert's review of the film, and he said that Robert De Niro seems to be have made himself up to look like Martin Scorsese, who he had made a number of films with. If that's the case, then it's a pretty wicked homage, given what you learn about the character in the end. Yeah, terrific movie, both of them, especially Angel Heart. I've attached, this is a video response to Michael, of course, doing his series, so the link to his channel and his videos are below. So I encourage you to check them out, and I'll be doing more responses to some of the other movies that he does in the series. Thanks for watching, and again, if you've seen too much of me already today, I apologize, because again, I'm blasting out a whole bunch of videos today. Thanks again, bye.